So, today we're diving into this incredible story from the Gandhavyuha Sutra. It's this ancient tale about a young seeker and a wise master, and it completely flips what you'd expect from a teacher-student relationship right on its head. All right, so let's meet our main character. He's a young man named Sudhana, and he's basically a seeker who has dedicated his entire life to this one single monumental quest. His whole journey is fueled by this deep, deep need to understand, and we're catching him right at the beginning. And believe me, this is no small task. Sudhana isn't just looking for one guru, one single place to get all his wisdom. Nope. His mission is to find and learn from 53, that's 53, different masters. Just think about that for a second. The level of dedication that takes, a journey that spans a lifetime, all just to gather knowledge, one little piece at a time. So this is where our story really kicks off. Sudhana's already well into his journey, and he's on the hunt for his next teacher. Okay, so after traveling for a while, Sudhana makes his way to the city of Zizai, and he's looking for this master named Megha. But here's the thing. He doesn't find him in some quiet, peaceful monastery or tucked away in a cave. No way. He finds him right in the middle of a super crowded city market, teaching from this high-up seat with literally thousands of people all around him. It's a great reminder, right? Wisdom isn't always hidden. Sometimes it's right there, smack in the middle of all the chaos. So Sudhana makes his way up to the master, but he's not there to ask for simple, easy answers. He's carrying some of the heaviest, biggest questions a person could possibly ask. And what's really interesting here is how Sudhana frames his whole situation. He goes up to Megha and basically says, "Look, I've already committed. My heart is set on achieving supreme enlightenment." So, you see, he's not asking for permission. He's not asking, is this the right thing to do? He's already decided. He's there to ask, how? His first question is, well, it's pretty foundational. It's about the real nuts and bolts of the whole thing. He's basically asking, okay, I'm on this path, but how do I actually walk it? What do I do? What are the practical, day-to-day steps for someone who wants to dedicate their life to helping everyone? Then he gets right to the heart of the matter. He asks, how do you cultivate a compassion that's so deep, it just never, ever runs out? I mean, think about that. How do you find a strength that lets you face all the suffering in the world and never get tired, never give up? This is a huge question. It's all about spiritual and emotional stamina. And his last question, this is the big one, the ultimate goal. Sudhana asks how you can develop a wisdom so vast, so all-encompassing that it just illuminates everything. A wisdom that gets rid of all the shadows, all the confusion, and just makes the truth of reality totally, completely crystal clear. Yeah, a massive question. So there he is. Sudhana has asked these 3 monumental questions. He's standing there in front of the master, probably expecting a long lecture, maybe a riddle, or some piece of profound advice. But what happens next? Well, absolutely nobody could have seen it coming. The whole dynamic you'd expect, wise master, humble student, it's about to be completely shattered because Megha doesn't say a word. Instead, he acts. You heard that right. The master gets down from his high teaching seat, walks right over to this young student, Sudhana, and prostrates himself. He lays himself flat on the ground. It's a gesture of the absolute highest respect. He's bowing to the person who asked the questions. And get this, it doesn't even stop there. While he's on the ground, Megha starts showering Sudhana with all these unbelievable offerings. We're talking flowers made of actual gold and silver, priceless pearls, fine sandalwood powder, tons of fragrant flowers, the absolute finest clothes you can imagine. This is just an act of incredible reverence. So the big question is, why? Finally, Megha gets up and he speaks, and his words explain everything. The whole point behind this incredible, shocking display. See, it wasn't about the questions themselves. It was about the person who was brave enough to ask them. And this is the absolute key to the whole story. Megha isn't bowing to Sudhana because of what he knows or his social status or anything like that. He is bowing to Sudhana's aspiration. He's honoring the sheer power and, honestly, the rarity of a person simply deciding to begin a journey like this. Megha goes on to explain that this first step, this awakening of aspiration, that's the most important part of all. It's like the seed that everything else grows from. He says that commitment is what ensures wisdom doesn't die out in the world. It's what purifies everything, what brings peace to all living beings, and ultimately, it's what allows someone to see reality for what it is. The commitment itself is where the real power lies. So with that key lesson out of the way, Megha finally starts to answer Sudhana's big questions. But he doesn't just give him a dry checklist of rules to follow. Instead, he uses these beautiful, really powerful metaphors. He tells him a person on this path, a bodhisattva, is like the great earth because they help grow the good in all living beings. They're like a vast ocean because they're filled with this boundless good fortune. They're like a bridge, helping people get from the sea of suffering to safety. And they're like a fierce fire because they burn away all the selfishness in the world. It's such a brilliant way to put it, right? The path isn't a list of rules. It's about the roles you take on for others. But here's another twist. Even a master as wise as Megha doesn't have all the answers. And the last part of his teaching is, funnily enough, a lesson in humility. Megha says to Sudhana, hey, what I've just shared with you, that's my area. But my own knowledge is actually pretty specific, pretty limited. And this is such a huge moment. You have this great master admitting that he's just one link in a much, much longer chain of wisdom. So what's his one special skill? It's something called the wonderful sound dharani, and it's basically the supernatural ability to understand the language of every being in the universe. I'm talking gods, dragons, humans, you name it. An absolutely incredible power for sure. But it's still just one power. And so, Megha does what any truly great teacher does. He points the way forward. He tells Sudhana, your journey isn't over. Go south, find an elder named Liberation. He can teach you the next piece of this puzzle. The quest has to go on. And that really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? What this ancient story seems to be saying is that the real power, the thing that's actually worthy of a master's respect, isn't reaching the destination. It's the courage to take that first step. It's that one single moment where you just decide, okay, I'm going to do this. So what journey in your life is just waiting for that moment?